and welcome. Thanks for joining us for another update on MarkTwainZephyr.com, also our Facebook and Twitter pages at Mark Twain Zephyr. I'm Robert Tabern, Director of Passenger Development for the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad, and we are here in beautiful Canton, Missouri, along the Mark Twain Zephyr line. And we have a very special guest on this Sunday, October the 24th. And we have Joe Clark. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe. And
you're welcome.
Thank you for inviting us into your art studio. And the last couple of weeks, if people have been following us, we were in Hannibal, Missouri. We were with Ray Harvey, who is a muralist, who is painting a Mark Twain Zephyr mural at 3rd and Broadway in Hannibal. And, well, I guess he's not Northern Missouri's only artist, as you are also a Zephyr and an artist. So before we show some of your work that the Wisconsin Great Northern and we have commissioned, tell us a little bit about yourself and history of you being an artist, and also you tell us about your experience. What do you remember riding the Mark Twain Zephyr?
Okay. Yeah, well, first of all, I'll tell my age,
Okay.
if that's appropriate.
Oh, I didn't ask. You're offering to share. So.
Well, I'm 92 years old, believe it or not.
So you're older than the Mark Twain Zephyr.
Yes.
Wow.
There's not too many of us around, I guess.
I guess not.
Except my wife, she's 94.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, now that we've got that established, when I was in grade school, I distinctly remember it might have been my first grade teacher, I'm not sure. First, second, or third grade, something like that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I remember her talking up this new train was coming to town. It was going to be called the Zephyr. And it was so far ahead of its time. It was going to be made out of stainless steel, was shiny, and was powered by a diesel engine power instead of a steam locomotive. And it was going to be...
So up until that time, it was all steam. You remember steam locomotives coming through town?
Not really. Well, I guess I do, but I didn't pay any attention to them.
It was pretty common, I guess.
Yeah, it was so common, it didn't really...
Wow.
Didn't get my attention. But when the Mark Twain Zephyr came along, that really got my attention. And I think she even made a special effort to... bring some of us kids who were interested to town to see the Zephyr.
Okay.
You know, I stop at the depot down here and offload their product, whatever it was, whether it was mail or passengers or milk and cream. I don't know.
So you remember
eggs.
You remember it coming in?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the impression the first time you saw it?
Wow.
Just wow. Yeah. Something totally
beautiful,
different, modern.
It's far ahead of its time, modern, sleek, artistic, you know.
And that inspired, I guess we could look at your painting here that, tell us now, just so people know, I met you originally when we were here 3 months ago for a book signing that we did back in June or July.
Yeah.
And everyone told me about you and this painting here, you did before. It's up in the insurance agent's office.
Yeah, it was very...
Tell us a little, when did you do it and how did you design it?
It was very similar to this one. I think the one he has in his office didn't show much more than the engine, I think maybe in one car behind.
Okay, so you showed me, this one you did more of the train for us.
Yeah, I tried it. Well, it does show all 5 cars.
Yeah.
I think. Or is it 4 cars?
It's 4 cars.
4 cars.
The one we have is we have an extra car from the Pioneer Zephyr that we put in.
Okay.
So ours has 5.
Oh, yours has 5.
Ours has 5, but originally it had 4.
Originally it had
so that
4.
would be exactly
That's
correct
what I thought.
way you had it. Yeah.
I remember you said that from the...
the Pioneer, they were going to donate the extra car to Science and Industry in Chicago, and they didn't have room for it, so they threw it in with the train set of that, and so we'll have 5 cars. But
well,
this is exactly accurate.
That'll be nice, I guess, to have 5 cars.
So tell us a little. How long does it take you to paint something like this? And do you go off memory, or do you have to look at pictures of the train, or do you remember that clearly?
Both.
You could do
both.
It?
I remember, the scene like this, and at that time, kids on bicycles were very common, and there's an old, 1930s car of some kind, or maybe a Chevy, don't know. And there's the train that just came in from St. Louis,
Okay.
and it's
So
loading,
morning time, maybe
loading,
late
unloading.
morning, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It arrived now around noon or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that'd be about right.
I don't remember the
It's a
exact
very
times or
busy
anything.
depot scene. And what's the status? I know it's one of the few surviving Mark Twain Zephyr depots. So what's the do you know the status here in town?
I
Who
do.
owns it, or-
The city of Canton bought the depot, and they're not quite sure what to do with it. They'd love to do something with it, but it takes money to.
Maybe a historical museum or
Yeah,
something.
but
or-
it's it still takes money to
yeah.
because the roof needs fixing, and there's no heat in the building and no electricity, and on and on.
Well, maybe somebody will be generous and because I know it's one of the few surviving. Mark
Yeah, there you
Twain
go. You
Zephyr.
find somebody.
We'll start a GoFundMe. And then you have another painting that you just did as well. We'll have you switch that out and we'll have you talk about this one. I got it over here. Here we go. Oh. We'll have you put that over there. And boy, that building kind of looks a little familiar to me, a little bit there. And so tell us about this one.
Well, when I was half or so, 3/4 done with this painting, I guess I sent you a picture of it.
You did. I
And
was
you
very,
said-
I was
you-
very impressed.
You said, "Well, that's really nice, but I'd like to
Why?
have one with the train in front of our depot in Wisconsin
Yeah.
with snow on the ground." So,
Well, yeah, because it's snow on the ground 11 months out of the year.
so I said, "Well, I haven't been there, so you'll have to send me some pictures." So
Yeah.
you did, and I used your pictures as reference material, of course.
Pretty good.
In doing this one, so I did the best I could working with the pictures.
No, it's really
that you sent
it's
me.
really accurate. My wife's behind the camera. She's shaking her head. She's like, "Yep, that's got the tracks there." And how long does it take you to do a painting like this, if I can ask from scratch? I know you got to sketch it out. Before
Well,
you-
yeah, you're absolutely right. I did 2 or 3 sketches first, and I
wow.
sent those to you, if you
yeah.
recall.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And finally, you said, "Okay, yeah, that looks good." So then from that rough sketch, then I did a more refined sketch, one that I was satisfied with, and then I transferred that just from memory, and and sizing it to the size of the canvas, and all, and then sketched it on here in pencil.
Absolutely beautiful.
With pencil, so that I could erase it if it didn't look right or something. So, but how long did it take me? Time from start to finish was probably at least a month, maybe 6
Wow.
weeks.
Wow.
But I would paint. Well, after I got it all sketched in pencil, then of course started applying paint. But I would paint for, well, sometimes a half hour, sometimes an hour.
Okay.
And if I was really into it, maybe an hour and a half at a time. And then I'd stop, take a break, because I just, I get,
Yeah.
I can only concentrate so long, and it's like kind of like studying for
Yeah.
a test or something.
It's intense because
You get,
you want to make sure everything.
yeah, you're concentrating and mixing paint and well, anyway. So I add it all together, and probably total paint time, I would say maybe 40 or 50 hours.
Wow.
Like that.
Full-time job.
Full-time job. Yeah. What was the most difficult part of this? Would you say?
I put a lot of time, in.
Yeah. What was the most difficult part about painting? Is it sketching it out? Is it painting? Is it the final, the small touches, or what's the hardest for you?
The hardest part, I think, is, well, for one, the front end of the train.
shovel nose, yeah.
Making it look round.
Yeah.
At the same time, making it look realistic, and
Yeah.
because it's round and curved on a flat surface. Trying to make it look round and curved it's a little tricky.
Yeah. And Thanks, Joe Clark, for joining us. Earlier this past week, Ray Harvey's Mural in Hannibal, Missouri was completed. It was a little bit behind because of the weather, but let's take a look now at some photos of that completed mural. Coming up next, we continue our month-long retrospective look back at the reconstruction of the passenger cars of the Mark Twain Zephyr at the Wisconsin Great Northern. This week, we take a look at Effie Dean, car 500. We'll see you back for another update. We'll see you from Mount Pleasant, Iowa. We're heading north, and we'll see you on October 31st, a week from today, up in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, for the Wisconsin Great Northern. And thanks, Joe Clark, for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for another update on the Mark Twain Zephyr at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. Before you go, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's really easy. Depending on what browser you have, just click on the red subscribe button on the lower right-hand side below the video screen, or perhaps it might be in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. This way, you won't miss any of our future updates. For restoration updates throughout the week, head over to marktwainzephyr.com and click on the Restoration Updates link. We usually add a few photos during the week. Our next video update will be next Sunday afternoon. And remember, you can stay in touch with us throughout the week 24/7 on social media. We mainly use Facebook at Mark Twain Zephyr. We also occasionally use Twitter at Mark Twain Zephyr as well. Once again, thanks for following us and liking us and supporting the Mark Twain Zephyr restoration effort at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. We'll see you back next Sunday at this time.
Fly